With effect from the 8th of August this year, we adopted a new corporate identity, Zamara. The change in our corporate identity was necessitated by a change in our shareholding, which in turn was necessitated by a change in the legislation. The Retirement Benefits Act was amended in late 2014 to restrict foreign ownership in a pension fund administrator of our type to 40%. The majority shareholding in our company was held by Alexander Forbes. We've had a very valuable partnership with Alexander Forbes for the last 15 years, and this is a partnership that we will always cherish. However, this change in the law required a reorganization in our shareholding. It required us to comply. In order to comply with the law, we had to bring our foreign ownership to 40%, which means that Alexander Forbes is now a minority shareholder in the company. The business is majority Kenyan owned, and that required a change in our brand. But we are very excited about this change. This gives us a great opportunity to create and chart our own destiny, to create a strong African Kenyan brand that connects better with our stakeholders. And so far, 2 months on, it's looking very positive. We're very, very upbeat about the prospects for Zamara, and we're very excited about the future. Alexander Forbes remain a shareholder in our business, albeit a minority shareholder. They have representation on the board of directors, and Alexander Forbes have a commitment to Africa. To an extent, with being a minority shareholder and the business here being more an investment now rather than a strategic holding for Alexander Forbes, there will be changes in the nature of the relationship. Obviously, we have the board representation now is Kenyan. But look, having said that, the leadership change here is completely unchanged. I remain the CEO. I remain the person in charge of the strategy for the business. And we have a very strong team. We're very adequately and well resourced. Look, in the pensions and insurance industry, we have been at the forefront in terms of new thinking, innovation, and we will continue to blaze that trail. We have a strong track record on the corporate side, and we will build on that, and we aim to extend our service offering to the SMEs and the retail. Already we are researching innovative pensions, insurance, and medical solutions for those markets, and we would be looking to roll these out fairly soon. We also want to increase the scope of our service, right? I mean, and not just be pensions insurance people. I believe there's a lot more that we can offer within the pensions, insurance, and medical space, but there's more innovation that we can bring. We are also looking at significant investment in IT to increase automation, efficiency, and improve our customer experience. And very recently, we launched a new mobile app that members of our pension funds can access through their mobiles. They can check their benefit statement at any time. They can project their benefits. They can get access to lots of tools. They can query their contributions. They can even request benefit payments. So this is a great new experience for our client. That was launched actually before we rebranded, so that was launched in April, but all the work for that was done here in Kenya. Okay, I mentioned the mobile app being a new innovation. In our medical business, we introduced a number of programs for a number of covers for SMEs that reduce the prior conditions and the like. With Bamburi, we launched a new medical product under which users of Bamburi products can get medical cover at a subsidized rate. So Bamburi also meet a portion of the cost, and that's taken off very nicely. Our personal pension plan, we've introduced a couple of new changes to it. So those have been well received. That's to name a few. The one thing that I've kept on talking about, and this is something that I feel is very important for us, is that we need to rethink our pensions model, right? So, when we talk to the members of our retirement funds, and we have 160,000 members in our pensions book, and when we talk to them, the key message that they seem to be giving to us is that saving for retirement is important, but it's not the only, nor is it the most important savings need. Right? So for most Kenyans today, there are other competing priorities like housing, education for children, and we feel that, look, we need to think outside the box. We need to be more radical in our approach. And we need to ask ourselves, can our pension system be expanded to accommodate wider life priorities? And I feel we have the building blocks within our pension system. And we are talking to regulators, we are talking to policymakers to see, can some of these needs be accommodated within our pension system? Housing is key, right? I mean, most people would want to have a home, have a roof over their heads. So yes, even as they save, if we can somehow help them to also build or have that roof over their heads and educate their children, I mean, those would be big pluses for us, right? So I think in many ways our pension system is heavily borrowed from the West with a focus on saving for retirement. And don't take me wrongly, I'm passionate about saving, and I think it's very important saving for one's future retirement. But if we can contemplate a long-term saving solution that can take care of some of these other needs as well, I believe we should certainly do it. Several innovations that can be brought to the market if the legislation can be amended to recognize that, it's to be able to say that, let's not just focus on the end journey, let us focus on the journey itself. And let us look at financial well-being more holistically, not just in terms of saving for retirement. So far, the interactions that we've had with the Retirement Benefits Authority have been, particularly the CEO has been very forthcoming. We will be making proposals to Treasury. We hope that they will be considered. We need to have some sort of changes made to the Retirement Benefits Act. Now, notwithstanding, the changes that are needed, even within our existing framework, we feel that there's perhaps more that can be done, and we're looking to see how best we can do it. It's actually not hard at all. It's actually very easy, very straightforward to join a pension scheme, right? So people are not joining because of this, Kenyans, it's like, saving for the long term. We don't think about saving for the next few years of our lives, let alone saving for retirement, right? However, if within that saving, you can say to somebody, you're saving, you get a better return through the economies of scale, through getting professional investment management and all the rest, but we're also able to meet some of your more immediate needs through this same saving. I believe the take-up will be much higher. Now, secondly, recognize pensions saving in Kenya is voluntary. An employer is not obliged to set up a scheme. An individual is not obliged to contribute for future pension saving. And this is why I feel the time is right in our country for the government to seriously look at compulsion, to ensure that contributions at a sensible level are compulsory, at least for those who are working in the formal sector. Right? Because as I said, if coverage in the formal sector is less than 50%, what about the rest of the 50%? Before we even think about the 80% who are in the informal sector. So I think compulsion, if we combine compulsion with saying to Kenyans, look, we are compelling you to save, we are also compelling you to preserve your money. However, we are allowing you to use that money whilst you are saving. Yeah, we're allowing that money to work for you whilst it is building up. I believe it will resonate a lot better. Okay. Look, the fact that, we're still standing as a country, I think is a testimony to the resilience of the Kenyan economy, right? So if you look at what we've been through, this very prolonged electioneering process, right? In spite of that, look, we're still there, right? The economy hasn't fallen through. But what we are seeing is that, look, decision making is at a standstill, as I said earlier. People are adopting a wait-and-see approach to say, let's wait to see how things pan out. And this is affecting the outlook for growth. It is affecting the outlook for the markets and business in general. Right? Now, I'm hoping that a lot of this uncertainty can be put to rest in the next few weeks so that we can start getting back to focusing on the economy, creating those jobs, growing those industries, and growing the country. Right? For this year, I mean, already the government has downgraded the growth forecast for this year, and most other commentators have done the same. But if we can get some of these things out of the way, then I feel that next year should be better. You talk about the interest rate capping. Again, a well-intended piece of legislation, but the effects have been very counterproductive. If you look at the supply of credit to the business, has completely choked up. And I'm hoping that will be reviewed. Okay, in another 5 years, I see Zamara as a company that is respected, and that, for the quality of its services and its solutions, for its values, for the integrity of its people, a business that is powering prosperity in Kenya and across Africa by offering innovative pensions, insurance, and medical solutions across the continent. When I look at, I talked about pensions coverage being very low. Insurance coverage is also stubbornly low. But therein lies the potential and the opportunities for our business. So I see a company that is poised for growth, that is energized for growth, that is refreshed for growth, that has got the resources, the capability, and the passion to deliver. Okay, lots of people are intrigued by the choice of Zamara. So Zamara it doesn't have a meaning per se, but Zamara is, for us, it is simple, it is fresh, it is authentic and truly African, and it embodies a new way of presenting ourselves to the world. Financial services industry is steeped in complexity and jargon and tradition. As Zamara, we cut through that. We redefine convention, we simplify things. We will always choose simple over complex. We will look at the world through our customers' eyes, and we will earn trust by being trustworthy at our end.
Is in the simplicity.
It's in the simplicity and the authenticity and the truly Africanism of them.